live soon. Got a bit of background music going. I will have to briefly pause, I would say,
soon.
in a few minutes. Got a bit of background music
friend's
going.
dropping something off.
But
Otherwise,
I will have to briefly pause, I would say, for a
soon.
good. Got a bit of background.
Friend's dropping something
painting
off.
stream,
But
should have a good time. Let me get an announcement made, so everybody knows. Everyone knows what's up in our Discord server, which you should feel free to join if you'd like to. I will post a link, as always, in the chat. And, you know, whoever would like to can stop on by. I have a lot of stuff. Oh, wow. Hi, Josh. You're already here. Good to see you. You're eating chicken. That sounds delicious. I'm having a really hard time cooking for myself just because I get tired after work, and I am just eating whatever. So I'm gonna try and be better about cooking for myself. But after Adepticon and kind of getting acclimated to being out of training for my job and actually doing it, it's a lot. So sometimes that means you order a pizza or you eat whatever is left in your fridge. But you know what we're out here doing? Whatever it takes to make it through. And that's okay. So I hope your chicken is good. I hope that you are enjoying eating it. I am really pretty hype about some of the stuff I got from Adepticon, and I feel like I wanna put some of it together. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. This little chibi mech is from Impact Miniatures. I looked into it and I found the company that made this little guy, because I was like, you know, he's pretty cute. So it's Zaxby's. Okay, fair. Yeah, I was starting up, you know. I'm not quite hitting the 7 o'clock mark with the regularity that I think many people grew accustomed to. You know, getting back into the swing of things, I feel like that'll do that to you. But you know, we'll get there. We'll get it back. Should probably Zaxby's though. I haven't had Zaxby's ever. God. I think it was really funny that Zaxby's back when a lot of the accusations, the totally justified accusations, were made about the way that the Blizzard company that made Overwatch treats its female employees. When all that came to light, the Overwatch Professional League lost like a ton of sponsors, but Zaxby's apparently just stuck around. They were one of the few sponsors that was like, you know what? We're okay with this. So, I mean, I don't know if they knew. I feel like they had to have known with, you know, the internet and marketing teams and stuff like that. But they certainly opted to just be okay with everything, which is kind of weird. So yeah, that's what I know Zaxby's for at this point in time. Maybe we're gonna try from this angle today. We'll see. See what we're doing. Let's see. It is 7:15 already. Yeah, the days be going by, and unfortunately, once I have a couple weeks under my belt, my work schedule is gonna be changing, only by an hour, but I handle change really, really poorly. I don't like when my schedule changes because it means all of my activities that I'm used to doing at a certain time now have to be done at a slightly different time. And I know that sounds unreasonable to some people, but like, it really makes me just kind of panic in a way that I don't appreciate. So I'm trying to be chill about it, but I really crave routine so much. I thrive when I have a routine that's very consistent. And even if that's just slightly different, I don't do as well. So it's unfortunate, but it's true. I don't know what pose we want to go with for this little mech. He seems pretty posable. But I'm not the best at posing. I think someone said you can use blue tack to test out poses. I don't have any blue tack, but I feel like maybe green stuff will work just as well. No, sorry, I didn't mean to guilt trip you for your chicken. It's totally justified. It's just like the immediate thought association that I had of Zaxby's. It does not necessarily reflect on the company. I honestly just think they didn't know. Yeah, so I'm not you know. I don't have a complete thought. Sorry, one of my friends sent me a message. Okay. Yeah, there is no ethical consumption in late stage capitalism, unfortunately. That is very true. Like, it's very difficult for me, I think, still now even, to reckon with all the stuff that the Disney company is doing, just because such a fixture of my childhood and so much of my inspiration as an artist and, you know, the animator that I had aspired to be when I was young came from the Disney company. So a lot of the stuff going on there it's tricky. Tricky for me to know how to feel about. Disney's always been a business though, sure, so it's like, you know, what can you do? He was union busting and stuff like that back in the day. It's almost unreasonable to think that that's gotten any better. Probably don't need quite the volume of green stuff that I've put into the little sockets. I want to see if it'll hold. Blue tack, yeah, I don't have any. All I got is some green stuff, so we're gonna see if that works. Probably won't, but it's what we got. Use what you have. I mean, it seems to work okay. It's got a little bit of posability. I'm not sure how well it's going to do on the super chunky arms, but we'll see. My friend has offered to get me pie tonight, and it's been a rougher day. So she's messaging me asking me what kind of pie I want. She's a fucking wonderful person, and I'm just like, it's fine. Like, I can just take care of this myself. I don't need it. It's okay. And now she's offering pie from like a restaurant here that makes really good pie. Because she loves me, and wants me to have a better day than I'm having. That's very sweet.
She's the sweetest, yes. Apparently I'm getting pie, which is fantastic. That's amazing. Key lime pie blue tack. Hi, Tigress. Yeah, so there might be some pie eaten on the stream simply because, if it arrives, I will eat it. And like I said at the beginning when nobody was watching, I will probably have to leave midstream to grab the stuff that's being dropped off, so there's that. I don't know why I thought assembling this was a good activity for me. I have no dexterity today. I just really like this little guy. You know, I'm throwing all those little parts around, but he's really cute, and I want to paint him. But I feel like I need to find some way of cleaning him up before I put him together and decide on a pose, so maybe I'll get some blue tack for that. You guys just watch me play around with a model and then not put him together. That's the kind of stream it's gonna be tonight. I'm sorry, lads. It is what it is. You know, another thing that I got from Adepticon, this I'm really excited about, actually. There's this game, Relic Blade, that, Goobertown Hobbies actually recommended that I check out. And he kind of sold me on it because he said he had actually read the rulebook for it. If you know anything about Brent, he doesn't, read a lot of rulebooks, so he actually read Relic Blade. I got this Apostles of the Deep faction. I don't know if this is quite enough for the whole faction or not, because I haven't read the book yet, but I also have the rulebook, and the designer of it was there, and he was drawing in every rulebook for everybody. So of course, when he asked what I wanted inside the rulebook, was there another answer that could have possibly been given besides the Mothman? So he wrote, "Thank you, Fiverr," with a lowercase f for some reason, which is fantastic. He drew me a Mothman, and he signed it. And I like that he gave the Mothman a belly button, and he justified it by saying, well, he was a man, and he's a moth, so he must have had a belly button at some point. It looks really cool. There's a lot of nice pictures and art inside of it, and like I haven't read it, and it does involve cards, and I typically don't love games that involve cards, but this one, you know, had Brent's endorsement of having actually read the rulebook, and then the people selling it were really nice and really passionate about their product, and yeah. Hi, Zambies! How are you? I hope you're feeling okay. Just talking about Adepticon with these folks, and you were at Adepticon. I was hoping to have run into you, but I don't think our paths crossed. At one point, I was around the Golden Demon, and I heard somebody talking about the entries who really sounded like you. But I'm not sure if they actually were you, and I didn't have the courage to speak up about it. So I just was silent and awkward. But if that was you, I'm sorry I didn't say hello. I should have, and that was my bad. Did Brent try to sell you on Relic Blade? Did he talk to you about any games? Did you meet Goobs? I did. Oh gosh. Oh no. Oh, metal miniatures. Ah, cripes. Okay. People will say that you're supposed to pin your metal miniatures and clean up the flash and do all that stuff. What are the odds of me doing that? I'll tell you one thing. They're not high. I like these ones with the slots because look at that. It's a little guy on a little base. He's screaming. He's doing a little scream. That's kind of fun. I like him because he's a little fish guy. I may have been sold on these based on yeah, it was crazy overwhelming. So sorry I didn't find you. We'll have to make better plans sometimes. I was posted in the little, like, convention server in Goobertown, but I was also fucking overwhelmed about everything there, so next time I will plan better, maybe. I'll hopefully plan better. Let's see. Okay, this hammerhead guy gets these weapons. Did you see how I just broke that off there without even using snippers? This is just me. My most feral. That's actually a really good fit. I wonder, can I just stick that on with green stuff? Or will that, like, not work as an adhesive? Yeah, I gotta say, working with metal, you know, it isn't my favorite thing in the world, but one of my friends, my DM actually, for the campaign where I play that cool tiefling, she picked up a metal miniature and is just kind of getting into miniature painting, and was kind of curious about working with metal miniatures and intimidated by it. And I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, does it kind of suck? Yeah. Is it that bad? Not really. Not really. Things could be worse. Green stuff can be kind of brittle, you're right. I should probably get some super glue. I'm not gonna pin this, are you crazy? Hi, GMJ. Yeah, for sure. I felt like I was being pulled all over too. And I was trying to play in a tournament, so like, there was just a lot going on. I'm gonna compare everything to a sports anime, like, after this. When I make a video about Adepticon, if I do. I'm just gonna talk about how everybody I met was like a character in Haikyuu, and how my entire experience was just that, but for miniature painting, which is exactly what I wanted, don't get me wrong. But like, yeah, 100%, that is not gonna be accessible to anybody who has not seen that anime. You know. Because that's what draws the viewers in, right? I'll be right back. I gotta grab my super glue that I never unpacked when I bought it. Because this super glue's, the lid is fucking trash. We could just assemble stuff. This might be a chill assembly stream. Oh, we're just gonna use super glue. I don't care what the right answer is. We're using super glue. And already, I feel like I've glued my fingers together. Now, I did learn that moisture helps super glue absorb, but this is also metal, and you know, I'm pretty sure it's not lead, but I'm not gonna lick metals that I don't know the metal content of. I feel like that's a recipe for failure. Plastic? Sure. Not metal, though. Let's get that glob of green stuff off there. But this is gonna be a little relic blade. I think they're a faction. Maybe they're a crew. I'm not really sure what they are, again. I haven't read the rule book. But they're little fish guys. We love little fish guys. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think it's lead. Like, let's be real here. I'm very doubtful that it is lead. However, my surety about that is not a 0, so we're gonna treat it as though it could be lead. And then we're safe, because we're not a child and we don't just put things in our mouth. You know what? Actually, a combination of a little bit of green stuff to kind of hold the position and a little bit of super glue for an actual permanent bond is not a bad idea. Yeah, this one's like a little hammerhead shark kind of guy. And then there's some little like fish minions. And then there's an eel looking guy. He's got like a long neck, which is kind of creepy. In a good way. Yeah, he probably won't show up on camera super great, but this is like a picture of what he looks like on the art. And it looks like he just is held down by one foot. So we can lick the base to get the super glue to adhere. We'll put a little dab of super glue on his foot. And this could be fun because we can do like underwater bases, which I've never tried doing before, but I imagine would be a pretty fun experiment. I tried to look at everything in that vendor's hall, but there was so much going on. Oh my goodness. Talk about sensory overload, because I was just like, you hardly knew where to look. And I was there, I had a few goals. I wanted to buy a set of paints that they didn't sell at my local game store, which I did. I got scale 75. I needed to get the con exclusive Cruel Boys miniature, which I did from Games Workshop. And I wanted to try and buy miniatures from companies I never heard of or seen before. I accomplished all of those things. Those were my Adepticon goals. So I'm pretty proud of that. All accomplished. Oh my gosh, the bits boxes were so fun to go through. I got this guy. This was the only thing I bought from the bit stand for myself. That's a lie. I also bought a magazine. But he was $2. I believe he was incorrectly labeled. However, there was a lot going on, and I didn't want to be like, did you price this guy correctly? So I just bought him. And then I also, because everybody says that old white dwarfs are like the shit. And this one had pictures of Tau on it. And I'm really into Tau right now. So I bought it. And I see why people are mad about how White Dwarf has changed. Because this terrain tutorial is so detailed. And so cool. And there is not stuff like that in the new White Dwarfs. Like, there's just not, and I didn't realize what we had lost in that. Like, I still think new White Dwarves are worth it for new hobbyists, because it's fun to see the magazines and things like that, but, there's a loss there that I didn't realize. Yeah. Yeah, the bits box was super fun. There were some good deals. There was some overpriced stuff like usual. But I almost wanted to buy an entire corn army. And I'm proud of myself for not having done it. Because that would have been expensive. I'm really interested in corn demons. And I just kind of bought Tau. I need to stop buying armies. Or models. But they bring me joy. So I'm not gonna stop. Zambies, I don't think you're on my Discord server for Sugar Candy Miniatures. Let me post that link again so you can join up if you feel like it. For any of you who don't know, Zambies is she does Twitch streaming. She's very funny and a very talented painter in her own right. Usually she streams when I'm at work, so I can't catch them live, but the couple that I did catch have been super fun. Back in the ye old holiday season, she had set up like an entire advent calendar and was painting a miniature a day, like a random one from a little advent calendar, and it was fun to like see what the mini of the day was gonna be and how it was gonna be painted. And like there are all kinds of different painting challenges that went along with them, like paint in monochrome. I suggested paint a miniature to look like candy, of course, because that's my whole brand. I don't know if that actually was one of the ones that got selected, but I did suggest it, as is my right to do. So, yeah. Super fun. You should check her out on Twitch. I don't stream on Twitch because I can't fucking stand Amazon. It is the one hill that I have to die on, and unfortunately it's the one that allows my streams to be inferior in every aspect. But you know, what are we if not for our principles? Our stupid goddamn principles. It's a rough one. I don't know what's gotten into me tonight, but here we are. Putting together this little eel guy. He's got like a tail that goes in here, I hope. If this is not the right place to put that in, no one can stop me. I am my own worst enemy, constantly. I don't know if this is actually... That's gotta go somewhere. Does it go like... It doesn't come with an assembly guide, so that's my own fault for not, you know, checking on that. But, there's, like, this weird bit that looks like it's an eel. Like an eel arm kind of thing. That could go there, maybe. I don't think that goes there, because I think this is an arm. This could be an arm. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna check the art. We're gonna see... Where the fuck did I put that? That's not the right art. That's not the right art. Where's my other art? Is this the relic blade art? This is the relic blade art. Okay. Okay, so it appears like he's got an arm out stretchy with a lantern. Oh! Is it 2 parts? Am I dumb? Yep, that's a hand with an eel wrapped around it. Paint a Gilbert Godfrey. Shut up, Josh. No. We're not doing the Gilbert Godfrey shit again. Not tonight. You have Tau, Space Marines, Necrons, Sisters of Battle, Adeptus Mechanicus, Stormcast, and Crew Boys. Hey, you know, I think it's fun to paint different armies. I just sometimes worry that, it's a bit, I don't know. I haven't had a lot of people around me who embrace the hobby necessarily. Like, when I was with my ex, who was not the most supportive of my painting, she would often be like, you know, that costs a lot of money and we could spend it on other things, which was true, but the stuff she wanted to spend it on was like takeout, food, and I'm like, that's okay, I don't mind having nice meals every now and again, but I kind of like having a hobby. That was important to me, so I'm still learning how to embrace that aspect of the hobby, that there is a valid way to just kind of buy what you can afford and enjoy it. And, you know, it's not like I have a goal to have a fully painted army or anything like that, because I like to paint, so I'm gonna have to keep buying models to paint. It was nice seeing you too. Thanks, Zambies. Sorry, Goobs. Didn't mean to make you come into a serious part of the stream. I was actually talking about how it was you who, you talked me into Relic Blade. By merit of the fact that you said you had read the rulebook, and thought that the minis were cool. And I mean, I saw the demo game that was being played. I didn't learn any of the rules by watching the demo, to be fair. I never do. I'm not really super great at learning rules unless someone sits me down and teaches me them. And I meant to, like, ask the Relic Blade guys to play, and then I just, you know, Adepticon was a lot, and I got distracted by other things. But I did purchase these miniatures. I got the last of the Relic Blade fish guys. They said, like, this was the last copy of the Apostles of the Deep that they had. And I don't even know if it's a full faction of guys or if it's enough to play the game. But they are the models that I like the best, so I'm excited to have them. Even though I suck at assembling metal miniatures. Yeah. So, you know, I'm just kind of doing whatever. Assembly sounded weirdly fun tonight, but the little froggy guys are easy to put on their little slotted bases. We got the hammerhead guy together, so the eel guy is gonna go together. Oh, and also, I was showing this to everybody else, but, of course, the designer draws in all of the rulebooks when he was signing them at Adepticon, and he drew me a Mothman, because of course he did. We gotta have our Mothmen up in here. Did you buy anything dumb, impulsive, stupid at Adepticon? Because I certainly made some purchases. These small friends are the Relic Blade Apostles of the Deep faction expansion set. That's what they are. They're little metal guys. And it's a, 1 eel sorcerer, 1 shark warrior, and 2 giblin fishers. Along with this shiny chrome pack, I think this is some cards. We could open it up and see. Oh, yeah. They've got little stats and pictures. I don't know what any of these mean yet because I haven't read the rulebook, unlike Goobertown, who has read the rulebook. Ooh, this one says consult the eyes. That's a good spell. I like the name of it. These are really thematic and fun to look at. That's cool art. The anemone blade. There's a lot of, like, flavor. Mud holes. Giblin fishers. Yeah, these are fun. Like, I don't know what the point of the game is or any fucking shit like that, but it looks fun. I'm excited. There are too many goobers in the chat. That's true. We have Goober and we have Goober Town. And you're all goobers for being here, so just goober overload. It's fun though, right? We like a bit of chaos every now and again. I think, maybe. So that's, like, you know, that's one of the purchases I made. So Relic Blade and the expansion set. I was talking about how at the Bits box I got an old white dwarf because it has Tau in it, and I'm really into Tau right now. I got this fancy captain guy. You've seen that chonky mech that I got as well. I got a couple other odds and ends, but, like, I should show you. Since we're at a goober overload, I should show you the actual goober that I posted. This is the miniature that, of all the minis I got, I'm most excited to paint. And I get easily excited. I saw the Bits box. There were so many bits. I just couldn't choose because there was too much happening. And fortunately, I'd already picked out a lot of the necessary goblins for that particular thing that's happening. So I didn't need to buy any new goblins. I was good on goblins. But this this guy I'm so excited for. So, like, you look at that, it was like, oh, what's that big round thing? And then you look in here, it's like, is that a staff? Is that just a ball of goo? What is that? You dump it all out on a little base. I think this is resin, so we're gonna use super glue. What could Fiverr have possibly purchased that's cooler than a hammerhead shark guy and a special cruel boy? What could be more exciting than that? I'm asking this facetiously. I know what the answer is. This, my friends, is a snail guy. He's a snail traveler. He's got like a little cloak with bags and shields and little pouches, and he's got a little walkie stick. He's a freaking snail traveler man, ready to roam around the countryside with his little stuff, his like little kit. He's all kitted out. And I love him. Last year, I made this really cool diorama with a little slug adventurer. And I made it light up and stuff, and I made a little house for him to go to. So I really think I should make another diorama with this snail adventurer. Yeah, a snail guy. He's a little snail guy. A sny. He's from 1985 Games, which has great packaging, honestly. It says Rad Feel Retro Execution as their tagline. So yeah, 1985 Games made the best miniature of Adepticon, in my humble opinion. And if you're watching my stream, clearly my opinion is something that you care about. For better or for worse. So, he's got like, it looks like he's got little garlic and a little skull on his staff. So, maybe he's a vampire hunter. Or just a spaghetti enthusiast. But you know, yeah, he's a little guy. I have to hold him kind of delicately right now because all of his little parts are, you know, not fully set yet. And then there's a little sword that I need to glue on the back of his shell. It's got a little slot somewhere. There it is. Yeah. This little part. So it'll sit right there. And I think we're going to do a diorama with him. I think that would be really fun. Because I haven't done one of those in a while. And they are a lot. They're kind of exhausting. But they look cool as hell when they're done. I think he's just a really good candidate. Like, the sculpt has a lot of personality. And already kind of implies a story. So he could really be traveling anywhere. Is he an escargot? Maybe that's what we'll name him. But he just looks kind of like a little Ghibli character or something. Which is exciting. I think that might just be flash on there. Yeah, I'm gonna just snap that off. But he's pretty fun. I really like him. They had a painted up version in the display case that I may or may not have remembered to take a photo of. And I was like, oh, that's a really cool miniature. So I bought him. He's gonna kind of chill out there for a little bit. Snail backpacks, escargot. Jesus. Y'all with the puns. Y'all with the puns. I'll be right back, guys. Hang on a second. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. friends in life are the kind that are like, wow, you need a at-home COVID test and also you're craving pie? We will bring you both of those things. So now I have a beautiful slice of pie and a COVID at-home test. So both of those things are a part of my life now at the same time. Because bad news should apparently be taken with pie. I will eat this later, probably. Maybe we'll just sneak a bite right now. Oh yeah, that's good. That's going in the fridge. Hang on. Sorry to be so in and out, but you know, we do what we can. Yeah, but, the Adepticon officials, I guess, or powers that be, basically sent out an email saying, hey, some people have tested positive for COVID after Adepticon. Wonder if maybe that's because they dropped their mask mandate. But yeah, so I figured better safe than sorry. Better pick up a test, you know, and my friends were kind enough to offer to grab one for me. So I get to await those exciting results later. I'm not going to do a live COVID test because it's just not a fun thing to have to do. Instead, I'd prefer to put that off for a bit, assemble some miniatures, talk about Adepticon in the fun way, as opposed to the spooky way. Brent was so nice at Adepticon. Yeah, plus got the pie. He and Casey seemed extremely surprised that I was actually participating in the Age of Sigmar tournament. It feels like a lot of the hobbyists on YouTube, they sure do paint a bunch, but they don't actually play a lot. And I sure do paint a bunch, and I don't play as much as I could, but I try to play at least a little bit, so I know what I'm talking about with the games. I'm not very good with the rules, and I did not do very well in the tournament, but I had a blast. An absolute blast. That's the important part. But it was fun. Like, anytime Brent or Casey would introduce me to somebody, they'd be like, this is Fiverr. And they have a YouTube channel too. And they're also playing in the tournament. That seemed to be the highlight. Which was funny. I was quite pleased by it all, if I'm honest. Such a great time. So many people were very fun to meet in person. Yeah. I mean, if you only just read the Relic Blade rulebook, I can't imagine you reading the fucking Age of Sigmar shit. And then I took a look, like, I'm trying to learn how to play the Tau for 40k. I took a look at all the fucking Tau stats, and I was just like, I don't understand fucking any of this. It's been that long since I played 40k. So I'm asking Tyler from Billion Dollar Clown Farm, who sold me the army, to also help me figure out how to run the army that he sold me, because he goes to a ton of tournaments and plays a lot of 40k, and he was so excited when I asked for some help. Ask people for help. They get so fucking pumped to tell you about shit. It's great. Alright, so those are the little Relic Blade guys. Obviously, they're just kind of assembled now. We can't paint them because we would have to prime them, and I'm not going down into my creepy murder basement this late at night to prime some miniatures. So what else can we assemble? I bought these cool billboards. I think I talked about those last time. From Laser Craft Workshop. And I thought they were really neat, and I can put, like, my little channel banner on them and have them in the background of shots or at games or events or whatever. Or just if I ever make a display board for my miniatures, I can do that. The bad news, it didn't come with assembly instructions. The good news, there is a goober on the Goobertown Discord who works for this company, and should be able to help me if I run into any snags. Also, I've never put together any MDF before. Maybe there's an assembly guide. Hang on, is that just to add? No, it is an assembly guide. Is it an assembly guide? No, it's not. It's just a picture. But maybe the picture can be helpful. We can do this together, probably, maybe. Should I be using wood glue for this? Does anybody know? If you've put together MDF terrain before, let me know. I don't know why I'm doing things so impulsively. It's not like my desk is uncrowded with potential projects. But we're gonna try it. We're just gonna hobby bravely. Or maybe not. We could not also, because I don't know if it's gonna be easier to put the advertisement part in and then glue the frame on. Which seems like the obvious way to do it, or to put the frame on and then do the ad. Because, yeah, if maybe we won't hobby bravely tonight with putting this together, because I do want to design stuff to go in here, and it's probably going to be easier to design it, print it out, slap it on, and then put the frame over top of it. I feel like that will look better than if I just throw it all together on an impulse. So that's planning. That's why we're not going to do that. It's not because I'm scared to assemble it. They said, Josh. They, them. Not she, her. Good try. You can play again next week on the... Don't forget that I am non-binary game. Thanks, you caught yourself. Excellent, excellent. But yes, I mean, if Brent's here, I gotta make the Paint Bravely jokes. I joked about being a guest star on the show, and then Brent joked about losing the audio, so all good. Plenty of memes were had. Ugh. Okay, so we're not gonna put that together from the Adepticon haul. We're not putting the chunky mech together because I already took a look at that and wanted to die a little bit because I couldn't pose it. What else did I fucking get? I got a lot of other stuff. What's this little guy? I haven't decided if I'm keeping that or giving that away. I couldn't help myself. They did have the Blood Bowl star players, and I feel like I don't paint enough Blood Bowl stuff on this channel, so I have those. I think we'll switch from assembly to painting now, because we assembled a couple little guys. I'm really excited about making a diorama with this snail man. He's gonna go over here. I'm gonna throw that base into the pile of random bases that I always have lying around. Along with this base, I'm gonna actually remember to put the cap on the super glue. I know, I remembered to buy plastic glue and then I didn't use it. Fucking genius pro gamer moves here. Also, I don't know where the cap for that went. That doesn't bode well. That doesn't bode well at all. Probably means I will have to purchase another bottle of plastic glue in the near and not so distant future. Finding little spots to stick all these little guys. But yeah, Relic Blade is gonna be talked about probably, maybe. I could see a Relic Blade miniature showing up on like a Goobertown Roulette episode, or just we have to do a paint. People are gonna be talking about Relic Blade. I hope. I think. Could be the new hot stuff. Alright. What do you think, guys? Do we carry on with the Tau? I think we do. Let's see if the paint we tried to save from last night is still good, or if it is all dried up. That looks good to me. That looks potentially viable. That's still paint. Awesome. I think I've repainted this Tau commander several times. And I feel a little bit bad for him. He was going along good a couple of times, but I decided to experiment with testing out color schemes on this guy. Which means his paint is going to end up chonkier than some of the others in the collection. But that's alright. You know? It's not the end of the world. And he'll get to see a game table someday. We hope. If I learn 40k. Which I can do. I think I can do anyway. Who knows? Maybe next year I'll play in the 40k tournament. With some Tau. That'd be different. Or I'll just bring my guys along and find a nice casual game to play. Something not tournament based. Maybe some Kill Team, some Stargrave, something a little slower speed. Slow just like my snail friend. I've got to decide what kind of accent colors I'm going to use with the key lime pie Tau as well. For once, I think I don't need to cover something in checkers, which is a change. I don't want to use pink as an accent color. I feel like I rely on that too heavily. So, our other logical choice is yellow. Being that I only seem to paint stuff with pink, green, or yellow. I like yellow. A lot of people don't like painting yellow, which is fair. It can be a finicky color to work with, but it is my favorite color, so I get to use it. I'm blooping? Oh, fuck. Is my Discord making noise? Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. There we go. Closed out of that. Silver? Like a pie tin? That could work. It's more what to do for, like, the glowy bits and the vents and stuff like that. Because I can paint that, like, can bit silver. I can paint some of the other metal details silver, and it'll look good. But I'm not sure what to do about the vents back there. I guess I could paint them green, but I want to have something else to balance out the amount of fucking lime-ass green on these models. I can directly blame Tyler for making me choose these colors, because when you take a look at the pre-painted ones, let's dig one out. I'm sure I have one in here. Yeah. This is the color scheme that we're trying to match and not change too much of, so that these stealth suits will still work with the army. Because I told Tyler that I wouldn't change them too much, just the accent colors. So those reds will probably be changed to tan. And I might try and get that transfer off. We'll see if I can get that off. Or paint it over with tan. But yeah, that's what we gotta make sure that this fits with the army. So key lime seems the natural decision. Tyler has also painted these to a beautiful standard that I hope to be able to match, even if the color is slightly different. And that's fine, because they're stealth suits, so we can hawk some of it up to just camo being different, but not too much, you know? I don't want to cheese it too much. Hello, Keegan. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing tonight? Oh, no, I haven't asked. What are you guys working on? What are you painting? What are you assembling? What are you contemplating? What is on your hobby desk? Glad you're doing well. That's good to hear. Ooh, what horror movie? I like horror movies. Maybe I've seen it. The paint did keep in the bag. It worked very well, Cam. And look who's here. Cam, you're a fan of Goobertown Hobbies. We got Brent in the stream chat tonight. Hanging out. Sea Fever 2019. I've not seen that one. Should I be adding that to my to watch list, Keegan? Is that good enough to put on the recommendeds? Waiting for traffic to die down before going out to pick up some acrylic paint filters to hopefully fix your clogging issue. I hope that that works. I hope that traffic will ease up for you wherever you are. Ooh, working on an RPG. Okay, that's fair. After seeing how many people have, like, passion projects that they kind of have at Adepticon, and hearing about, like, Black Magic Crafts game that he's making and stuff like that, it always makes me think I should really try and develop an idea like that. And then I'm like, that means I would not only have to read the rulebook for a game, and I'm just not equipped to deal with that. I can't be doing that. I ain't smart enough for that shit, and I'll be the first to admit it. I'm more of, like, ideas person. I'm not a rules person. We do concept armies here. We don't do strategery. That's looking really good. You know what? I'll give it to scale 75. Even a dum-dum like me with enough coats, can get something that looks pretty smooth. It doesn't all go on in one coat like the paints I'm used to working with. And maybe it would be slightly different through an airbrush if I bothered to learn how to use mine. But that is quite nice. That is quite nice. Hit me up, Goober. I would be very interested in writing some lore for Cottage War. That sounds like fun. Wow, lots of game designers. I didn't steal your black paint, Josh. It wasn't me. You're working on your Snake Island Lehman Russ. Lehman Russes are tanks. I know that much. I'm very scared to touch these models that Tyler painted and redo details on them. I am afraid, but I'm gonna set him over here so he can watch his friends be painted and envy them for getting a finished paint job before he does. They're quite lime. That they are. That they are. Let me grab a bottle of water. Just so you know, the scale fantasy and game paint is different than the scale color line. Well, goddamn, am I not even using scale 75 paints? Am I just false advertising for this quality of them? I don't mean to be. I do not mean to be. I think they're good, but if that's, if I keep saying scale 75 and I should be saying a different kind of paint, let me know so that I can correct that before I put it in any kind of official video. Alright. We did our second coat on him. Actually, let's get those shoulder pads a bit. Yeah. That second coat, it's smooth. It's kind of nice. I feel like I'm clogging up the details a little bit because I'm, painting like a goon. But I'm sure a human painter, as opposed to a creature like me, could get very smooth coverage. Ah, okay. I got you. Are you quoting Dune? Is that the whole fear is the mind killer thing? I didn't understand half of that fucking movie. I'll be real with you. Most of that movie was just setting up for the second movie. I talked to my friend Destro about this, and he's a big fan of Dune, and he really liked the movie. And I was like, bro, I feel like I just watched a movie that was 2 hours of exposition for the second movie. And then he thought about it and he was like, yeah, no, that's kind of fair. I've never read Dune. But if you enjoy movies where most of the movie is setting up for a second movie, you're gonna fucking love Dune. That movie is all space airports in the best way possible. Yeah, that is a really fucking good way of describing it. But then again, I guess I have some spicy takes on movies in general, so I didn't think Dune was very good, but that's okay. There's plenty of people who will tell me that I'm wrong. And then, there are plenty of people who didn't like Book of Boba Fett because they had built Boba Fett up as, a really important character. And I'm just a fucking goon who doesn't remember anything from the original Star Wars films. And so I didn't care if Boba Fett was competent or not when I watched Book of Boba Fett. And they had, 4 episodes that were just The Mandalorian. So I thought it was great. Yeah, I think, people say that Dune is one of those movies or one of those books that's just impossible to make a good adaptation of, and maybe it is. But I don't know. I was pretty bored. Also, they don't explain anything. Why can that one guy fucking fly and shit? I've had that explained to me after the fact. The big evil guy can just, fly. And he's got, a hover suit or something is the reason, but they don't fucking address any of that. Also, I've been told by my friend who's read the Dune books, there are no aliens in Dune. How the fuck you gonna set a movie in space and not give me any aliens? That's a crime. Because I was, hoping that there would be cool aliens in part 2. That was something to keep me going. And the best alien that I'm gonna get is the sandworm. Don't get me wrong, the sandworm's cool, but I'm gonna need a little bit more than that. It's a 2-hour movie. You ain't telling me that we can't spend fucking 5 minutes talking about something interesting. Sorry. These are just going to be Dune spice. I'm going to get canceled for this the same way I was canceled for not liking the Transformers movie. But yeah. I did like the space worms. They were cool. The sandworms. When they started talking about them, at the beginning before you'd seen one, I think I messaged Destro and I was like, they're talking a lot of shit about sandworms. I better see some fucking sandworms. Spoiler alert, you do in fact see sandworms. I do think I'm right, and I do think I should say it. None of you are a captive audience, and you're welcome to disagree with me. You're welcome to leave. But that is my honest opinion of Dune. It needs more aliens, and frankly, it needs to, you know, I get that it's a movie franchise, and this is a problem with movie franchises nowadays, but I don't want to be watching a 2-hour trailer for the next movie, which might get made. That's kind of rough. Leto II became a tyrant so hateful that he forced mankind to evolve to counter tyranny in all its forms and reformed it for the better. It's pretty wacky. The book is all internal monologues. Well, yeah, that's pretty hard to adapt. But people love it. You know, Dune fans are really happy with the adaptation that they got. And that's always nice to see. Like, that's like me in the fucking Netflix series of Unfortunate Events. Because I'm a big series of Unfortunate Events fan. I didn't like the movie that they made with Jim Carrey because it didn't follow the books. And I didn't think it was very good. I was pretty psyched when one of my favorite directors of all time, Barry Sonnenfeld, was signed on to do the project with Netflix, and I like most of the casting decisions. I love that series. I think it's a very faithful adaptation to the books that adds enough new stuff in the right places and captures the spirit of the novels. A lot of people disagree with me, and they don't think it's very good. They think the children are annoying, they think it's too long, they think it's boring, and everybody's a little bit full of themselves. So, you know, I'm not perfect. I have my opinions, and they're not always the popular ones, but God, I love that show. It's really nice when you feel like someone's just getting the book that you love right, and I hope that's what a lot of Dune fans got from that film. So even though I didn't like it, I hope that the audience it was really meant for in the end did. You like your sci-fi either as schlocky as Transformers or as long and boring as dense as Dune. No in between, which is why you dislike Star Wars. That's fair enough. I don't know what I like exactly in terms of tone, but I sure know when I do like something I will talk about it, and when I don't like something I can at least point to the reasons why I didn't like it, rather than just saying, this was bad. You know? I have opinions. I feel like that's the difference between just saying stuff and having an opinion, is having like a reason why you did or didn't like something. Kind of the trademark of Dune. That's kind of the trademark of the world. I get a little fatigued when the plot of a story is just bad people made a bad decision, because I'm like, I'm living that story right now to some degree, with the world being how it is. It's just bad people making bad decisions sometimes. I've really had struggles with consuming that as media. I used to really love deep stuff that I thought was deep like that when I was a teenager. I was like, oh man, what if the world were really fucked up? And then I grew up a little bit and I was like, oh shit, the world really do kind of be fucked up. And I'm not gonna win it, you know, in this world by being a plucky teen protagonist who can like change the world, because I'm really unmotivated to even leave my house most days. But I can be kind, and I can provide a space for people to hang out and have a little bit of fun. There was a book that I was reading, and I wish I could remember which it was, but I think it might have been it might have been The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. But one of the lines in whatever book this was, and I really want to attribute this quote properly, so I'm like 75% sure it's Marcus Zuzak. But he says that the first casualty of war is fun. Which I think, we're not quite at World War III yet, but we definitely had a couple of days where it seemed like that's where the scale was tipping. And that was all anybody could focus on. And for, justified reason, nobody was having any fun at all that day. And that quote just kept resurfacing in my mind. Like, there is something to be said for maintaining a space that is kind and soft and full of distraction for people that need it. So, if things are going to get bad, I've resolved myself to make sure that at least as long as I'm hanging around painting minis, fun won't have died out. It'll still live here. Which is why sometimes stuff like Dune, which is really depressing, or just not super fun, I take it in stride. And if it's not for me, I can say, hey, that's not for me this time. And, or I, just kind of have my little opinions on it. My friend who loves Dune actually really loved hearing my opinions of Dune, because he was like, you're not wrong. It is kind of just a setup for the next movie. So, I might not get into anything that's really got a lot of powerful themes anytime soon. Today you learned that you can spell hero Fiver. I don't know about that. I ain't no hero. I'm just a little goon trying my best out there. That's really all I am. But, I got my little corner, and it's small, but it's good. I'm happy to be here. And I'm gonna paint these key lime pie towel, because you know what? I did go to Adepticon. I played in a tournament of 190 people, and not a one of them had a food army. And let me tell you, it is hard as an artist to find a unique angle for anything at all. People like to say that everything's been done in this world, and it's gonna be done again, and it's gonna be reinterpreted. But I'm willing to bet that this is the first key lime pie Tau army that anyone will have ever painted. If I'm lucky, it won't be the last key lime pie Tau army that ever gets painted. But it's certainly the first that I'm aware of. If anybody else sees some key lime pie Tau, though, like actual pie, not just the color lime green, you send them my way. I want to meet that person. I want to tell them that they had a good idea, and that I hope they don't mind that I also had the same good idea separately. I really do wonder if that is a Marcus Zuzak quote. That's gonna bother me. Apparently, a lot of people say they attribute it to a person saying the first casualty of war is truth. But I distinctly remember reading that it was fun somewhere, which means I may have to reread The Book Thief. No, The Book Thief? Yeah, The Book Thief, to see if I can find it there. Which is fine. It's a really good book. And I'll reread it frequently. But I'm gonna find it. Eventually. I did try Googling it, hopefully, but, they just led me on to another quote. I hope the best for you, Tigress. if I'm still streaming when you get back and you feel like joining in, let us know how it goes. And if you don't, feel free to join us on the Discord server and tell us how that all went. Be interested. All right, safe travels. I think having the background noise on is helpful. I haven't played background noise in a little bit. I know we had Moomins before. Today I just put on another stream of someone who had a little gif of Tom from Tom and Jerry listening to the radio, and they're like, old-timey music playing from another room. And I'm like, yeah, we could do that. We could do that. I don't know what it is about old-timey music, and by that I mean like 1920s, 1930s kind of music, I think. I don't really get musical eras too good. But basically stuff that I could have expected to see in a Looney Tunes cartoon popping up. That just, it's soothing to me. I don't have to change the songs because I don't fucking know any of them. I listen to, like, in my day-to-day, I listen to a lot of, like, Hosier and Florence and the Machine. And I listen to quite a lot of K-pop songs and stuff from musicals. Just a whole mix of stuff. I'm always like, am I in the mood for this song? No. So I'll have to change it. But this I seem to be able to leave into the background pretty easily. So that's nice. But you know, if all else fails, we'll throw on some episodes of the Moomins. Oh man, that's nice. I have a solid Yuletide playlist on Spotify that I throw on when the holidays come around, because I like having songs from the Muppet Christmas Carol on there. That's my favorite holiday movie. Second to Hogfather. If you've ever seen that, people with great holiday film opinions will know that one. That obscure take, a film adaptation of the Terry Pratchett novel of the same name. But that is some peak holiday content. It's like a 3-hour movie. Death is it, like the personification of death is in it. It's great stuff. Really captures the reason, I think, why holidays can have a lot of significance to the people who are passionate about celebrating them and choose to attribute meaning to them. Because the core thesis of that film was one I never heard before and never thought about. And it is that humans need fantasy in order to be human. Which, in and of itself, in a statement, in an isolated quote, would never make sense to me. I like that it gets to be explained to me slowly over the course of a film, so I can come to the same realization as the characters at the same time. But boy, what a nice core thesis, and what an interesting explanation to reach in the end. It's a very, very good film. Perfect holiday choice if you're in the mood. It's all on YouTube. I highly recommend checking it out. It is the same death from Discworld. I believe that it is. I've only just started on the Discworld books. I'm trying to read more this year, and my friend recommended one to me that I kind of fell off listening to the audiobook version of and really need to get back into. But yes, I believe it is set in the Discworld. I believe it's the same death, and it has a lot of moments with Death's daughter as well, whose name is Susan. She's very cool. But yeah, that's a great holiday film. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. Is that a Margaritaville towel sept? Actually, it is it's gonna be a key lime pie towel sept. And we're gonna be spelling it KEE apostrophe LYME. It's a little bit better of an example on this guy. You can kind of see where the pie crust elements are coming in. Yeah, but we're doing a key lime pie themed towel sept. I should probably put a photo of key lime pie in the corner so people know what I'm painting. But I'm a little lazy and I don't feel like looking one up today. So I'll take Margaritaville if we gotta get a little bit Jimmy Buffett in here. Do you ever think about how like songs like Margaritaville and Hotel California and The House of the Rising Sun, like they all kind of speak to a mythical American limbo space full of hotels that you can't escape from? 'Cause I think about that like at least 2 times a month. And really, really dwell on it, and then can't move on from the thought until I do. Cause like, it's weird, right? But it's not just the Midwest. Margaritaville, I don't know, that doesn't sound like a place in the Midwest. And the Rising Sun is very clearly a house in New Orleans that they call the Rising Sun. Doesn't necessarily mean that that is what it is. And then the Hotel California is presumably in California. I'll grant that that could be a Las Vegas hotel themed around California. But like, and I guess they kind of tried to explore that concept in that one season of American Horror Story that was themed around a hotel. I think it was a very poor attempt at that. Of what seems like a cool concept. But I think about liminal space hotels like all the time. They're really weird. You think that comes from a time where continental travel was the thing to do? Quite possibly. Quite possibly. And hotels are weird, right? Because presumably people only stay there for a couple of days at a time, and then you leave, and the hotel keeps going on, but you almost never think about it again. Like, I'm not gonna remember the Holiday Inn that I stayed at for Adepticon. The layout of that place, that's all gonna leave my head in a couple of days. But it's still gonna be there. It's still the same hotel. Another person is probably watching Star Wars on TNT in my room, or watching Guy Fieri Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives on repeat. You know? That's just happening. But like a week ago, that was me. It's weird. It's weird. Margaritaville is about Key West with key lime pies. Say it has like every kind of environment to explore without needing a passport or learning a new language. That's true. We do have a lot of variety here in America. However, I do wish to leave America and see other places when I travel. Someday. I would really love to go visit all of my Irish friends over in Ireland. And see all of that. I think would be fun. America is dotted with locations of power and even the ancient Native Americans knew to keep away from. But we built resorts there and wonder why people go insane. Hey, I'm just saying, like, there's a story or a game or something in there about, like, liminal space hotel demons or some shit like that. You know, like, who is running these hotels? How are they trapping souls there? How is the music getting out? I will ask too many questions that could not possibly have answers. But goddamn, am I gonna speak from just nothing. I'm just gonna say shit. That's all I'm doing. But I think about it a lot. The hotel that Adepticon was hosted at was nice. I didn't stay in that hotel because it was expensive. The Renaissance one, that's a nice hotel. It's very fancy. And one thing I appreciate, because a lot of places do not do this, they had an adequate amount of benches and chairs to sit down in. I get very tired very easily from the amount of walking and shit I have to do. One of my often complaints for anywhere that I visit, like an old person, like I'm 80 years old, whatever, with shitty knees, is that there are not enough benches or places to sit down. There were an adequate amount of benches and places to sit down. I hope that doesn't change in the future. Margaritaville is about denial, depression, and regret while at the beach. Margaritaville isn't the one that I return to the most, but I do think about Hotel California, like, a lot. And then, when I'm really moody, I'll think about the House of the Rising Sun. But Hotel California is, like, firmly lodged in my brain. And it got even worse when I was playing D&D, and one of the places that almost trapped one of my characters was basically a liminal space hotel created and designed. Like, if there's any Percy Jackson fans in the chat, it was basically the Lotus Hotel, where it's trying to, like, draw you in with stuff that is specifically appealing to you and then never let you leave. Like, my character had been looking for their family, and their family was there, and that character was also really into eyes as, like, a motif, and everything had eyes on it everywhere. This character had, like, a -3 modifier to wisdom as well, like, they were dumb as shit, but somehow managed to roll a natural 20 or some shit the one time they needed to make a wisdom save to leave the Death Hotel, and they managed to do it. So that was just crazy, but the whole time I was tense as fuck, because I knew once my DM asked for a wisdom save that there was, like, no chance of passing that, but to get a nat 20 on that was pretty astonishing. That's firmly lodged as one of the coolest things that ever happened in my brain for D&D. You didn't know Margaritaville was a song? You just know it as the brand of margarita making machine. That's fair. It's like a Jimmy Buffett song. I'm not a Jimmy Buffett connoisseur, but our neighbor, who I used to live near back when I was a kid, fucking loved Jimmy Buffett. And he had a big-ass speaker system outside in his backyard. And he would blare Cheeseburger in Paradise and Margaritaville and all those other Jimmy Buffett songs very loudly. You get to know them after a while. They're pretty repetitive. How do you know that, Keegan? You don't. You just don't. Now, Wicked Game, there's another song about being stuck somewhere while traveling. I've not heard that one. You should toss it into the recommendations or the jukebox section of the Discord, I can check it out later. Especially if you tag me in it. That way I'll remember. Because sometimes I forget. Eventually, I'm gonna remember to make a channel where I just post, this is the stream stuff Discord, and you should post your photos of what you worked on and also all the stuff that I tell you to remind me about in here. That way I can check it out after the show. But I haven't made that channel yet, and I keep forgetting. But one of these days, I'm gonna remember. Eventually. I've decided that I'm making this part green as well. I also need to start watching Our Flag Means Death because it looks good, and honestly, people keep posting about it, and it's gonna be spoiled for me if I don't start watching it soon, which is a shame. I cannot watch stuff in my own time because I have to avoid spoilers. That's just the way of this world nowadays. So much to get through, so little time. Still need to finish Jujutsu Kaisen. I've been saying that since I started streaming. And I am, only moderately closer to finishing that. It'll happen. That's a good show? Good. I'm glad to hear it. Hopefully I'll get really into it, and then it'll just be like those couple of days where I was watching The Witcher, and I got really into The Witcher, and I just had something to watch all the time. That was a good time for me, because I like it when I have something to watch on a consistent basis. It's helpful for my little brain to have something to look forward to at the end of the workday. Recently, that's been playing Borderlands with friends, but I'll be honest with you, sometimes I'm too tired to play video games, which sounds like such a weird thing to say, but they do take some thought and coordination. You have to remember to not skip cutscenes accidentally by just pressing buttons. I don't always remember how to do that. So, you know, having the occasional, I'll just watch TV today and I have something that I'm looking forward to watching, that's not so bad either. That's not so bad. You probably can't hear it with the background music just because it's, you know, background music. But they added little chirping crickets in to make it sound like it's playing from the other room, and it's like a nice summer evening or whatever. And that's very nice. I like that. It's a good touch. You'd think that I would have started with the smaller units, right? Like, I could have painted some Kroot. I could have painted some Pathfinders. I could have painted literally anything except jumping right on into the fucking big-ass Ghost Keel and little Commander guy. That would have been smart 5s. That would have been using your old noggin. Why do you never use that goddamn brain of yours? Because this seemed fun. That's why. This seemed fun, and I was not willing to let fun die. I guess that is the reason, and that's a pretty damn good reason. What about chirping Hector? I don't know where Hector's gone. Baby! Lobster is napping on the couch, and Hector is probably upstairs. Now that it's warm enough that I can have my unheated upstairs, available, he loves being up there. He really has a nice time up there. Oh, hello, buddy. Hi. Did you come down just for me to say hi? Do you want to say hi to everybody? Do you want to say hello? Hello. Have you been such a good boy? You have? Oh, that's so exciting. Do you want to say hello to everybody? They love you. Yeah. He knows he's the star. He does. He knows he's what the viewers come here for. Ain't you, buddy? Yeah, chirping Hectors. They missed you, buddy. They said, where are your chirps? Where are your little beep beeps? Where are your little beep beeps? They're right here. He's right here. He's having a good time. He's getting pets. I don't know that it shows up on camera too great, but since the weather's been nicer, he's been lying in the sun, and the black in his fur has started to, they call it rusting with cats, but it started to turn slightly brown, because the sun has, like, changed the color of his fur. He just loves lying in it, and the old place didn't have windows that were, like, really good for sunlight or really accessible, but this one does, and he loves it. He's always lying in a patch of sunlight or trying to get me to open the windows, so he's a happy, happy boy. Very important cat petting break. Right, buddy? Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're such a good baby. Such a good boy. What do you think? What do you think of the key lime pie towel, huh? What you think of it? Good enough to rub his little sweet cheek against. Yep. That's the Hector approval of that color scheme. Sorry, he's really lovey right now, so. This has turned into, from painting stream to cat petting stream while also looking at the goddamn hideous carpet. I swear I'm gonna get it changed one of these days. It's gonna happen. Alright, buddy, run along. Go play. Yes, but have no fear. Hector is here, happy to chirp. He's just, you know, he's chilling sometimes. It would be unrealistic for him to be on camera all the time. He's got his little cat life to live. He's got important cat business to do. Or apparently he's just gonna hang out here. See if I can paint with one hand and pet Hector with the other. He really wants attention. And he's trying to lick my fingers, which he likes to do sometimes. He's a little weirdo, but you know, he's my little weirdo. He is my little weirdo. Is there anything better than a cat that really just freaking adores you? I don't think so. Not in this world, anyway. It's just some love and affection, a good time. Oh, now you're just like, oh, you gave me attention, and then I wandered off, and now I'm wandering back for more attention. Is that it, buddy? Yeah? Yeah? He's gonna do this all night now. Maybe that's the difference between Golden Demon winning painters and me. They probably don't paint while also petting their cat. In addition to the multitude of other differences. But I imagine that might be a big one. Yeah, you're standing in between me and the highest level painting competitions in the world, Hector. How does that make you feel? Pretty good, apparently. What you doing under there? Come on, run along, buddy. Run along. Go play. Go play with your brother. Go bother him. No, go play with your brother. You are not listening to me at all. If I'm not painting and petting, am I really painting? Yeah. I mean, that's Hector's questions. Please do not dig your claws into my knee, however, heck. That's not very nice. I love how the color of green that I'm painting is basically the same as this green stuff that I have mixed up. Like, way to be original. You're just using green stuff green. Good. Ghost Keel coming further along. We got this guy coming further along. I think I'm going to try and put some of the pie crust color down on Ghost Keel, maybe. Maybe that's what we'll do. If Hector lets me. If Hector lets me. Go on, buddy. Run along. Run along. This kid. Sorry about him. He's very attention hungry today. Yes, I'm talking shit about you. Ugh. Alright, guys. We're changing the channel. It's now Hector Paints. This is Hector. He's gonna paint a mini. I am Hector the cat, and I like to paint the miniatures. Oh, we got the paint here. We pick it up. We got the mini here. We chill. I'm going to paint all the miniatures and have an entire 2,000 point army that I custom painted with my own little paws despite not having opposable thumbs. Oh, wow, Hector, that's so great. Get your own YouTube channel. This one's mine. He's a little goon, but we love him. Please go, sir. Go play. It's not working. I'm gonna get like no work done at the tail end of the stream because Hector needs attention apparently. really like this color for pie crust base. If you're looking for a good dough color, I can recommend Citadel's Kislev Flesh. Paint that is rapidly drying up in the bottom of the pot as I attempt to use the last of it. Does this mean I will remember to buy a new pot of it the next time I go to the game store? Almost assuredly not. But we can hope. I mean, I remembered to buy that plastic glue in the end. It just took me a while to get there. We got there in the end. Thank you for joining us, Josh. We were happy to have you. I appreciate you sticking around. Thanks for joining us on the stream. Probably be going for another 30 minutes, at which point I will stop. Because, y'all saw I got a delivery of some delicious apple pie. While it is not key lime, the flavor of this sept, I will in fact consume it and probably watch something. Maybe I'll start Our Flag Means Death. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just continue watching Jujutsu Kaisen, or I'll return to one of my comfort animes. That's always a good choice. I could watch Barakamon again for like the millionth time. Or I could watch Rokuhodo Yatsuri Byoryo. That's a good one. I think that's how you say it. It's about a cafe. I love animes about cafes. Anything chill that has like someone who's just super into making pastry, that's good shit. That is exactly the kind of content that I'm looking for all of the time. Or I guess I could watch the episode of Heaven Official's Blessing, where they fix up the shrine. That's a good episode. Although I am perfectly inept at everything I do, and Hua Chang has never once wandered into my life with carpentry skills, knowledge of obscure gods, and the chutzpah to fix all of the problems that plague me. Still waiting on that. Probably not realistic. Don't think it's gonna happen. But it would be nice. It's a good base color. It's starting to look like pie crust or shortbread. Just painting it up immediately makes it takes it from being like, oh, this is kind of like a, you know, a Mountain Dew towel, which was the original interpretation. I know for a fact that that is what the previous owner was going for. Thanks, Tyler, for documenting that. It's helpful to know where you were headed. Sorry I changed direction, but I think it takes it from Mountain Dew to key lime pie, putting in this tan color. Words that, honestly, only I would talk about. Problems that only I would face. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to buy more of this color of paint. That's a shame. Not sure when I'll next be at the hobby store, but I'm making a mental note to pick it up. Hopefully I'll remember. I guess I could change tactics and pick a different color, but I've already established that this one works, so I don't want to go around changing it. I'm remembering to stay hydrated. It's very important. I feel like it's reasonable to assume that if this mech were constructed from candy bits and you had to work off key lime pie, the graham cracker crust would be the sturdiest thing to build the mechanics out of, because you sure as hell aren't going to do that with lime curd. Although I suppose I have built the plates for the armor out of that. Maybe it's like hardened through a special space process and some space science, some space engineers who know how to make stuff. It's amazing how you just stick the word space in front of things, and then it's supposed to sound all sophisticated. Ah, yes, I am a space engineer. This is a space key lime pie. I did try and build a towel list today. I think I mentioned that, but I got so confused by everything that I gave up. I definitely will learn with this army, but it's gonna take some time. I've got so much Age of Sigmar up in my brain that getting that all out and putting something new in, that's not gonna happen overnight. Gotta try and get the brain for rules and stuff like that I'm always after. But I struggle to learn new games. It'll happen eventually. It took me long enough, but I'm pretty decently versed in the D&D rules now. Enough that if I've played a class, I can typically help someone else out with a couple of tips and tricks. I was playing with someone who was a barbarian, and I've played barbarian a ton of times before. It's like one of my favorite classes. I was like, oh hey, don't forget to add your rage damage to that, and they were like, what? I didn't even know I got a bonus for doing rage damage. And I'm like, yeah, it's only like a +2, but I mean, sometimes you're in a situation where every little point of damage counts, so stuff like that's always fun. Makes me feel like I know the systems that I spend time in pretty well. And I was remembering at Adepticon to use my, like, Cruel Boys tricks and stuff like that. Some of the only ways that I managed to do damage to people was with those kinds of abilities. I did kill a Maw Crusher, though. I mean, that's not for nothing. I killed a Maw Crusher and a Rogue Idol. I was up against Iron Jaws at one point. Have I thought about adding texture paints to the crust parts? I think the difference in finish would really help sell the food look. That's a really good idea. I hadn't thought about that, but I could get some typhus corrosion or something like that, and kind of dab that on. That could work really well. I like that idea. I will look into doing that. That's a good idea. Keegan, thank you. That might be part of my new pie crust recipe. Parentheses painting edition. Thank you for the suggestion. I've certainly used a couple of texture paints before. I like to use Valhalla and Blizzard not only for snow, but for like sea foam texture as well. Works really well for that. I hadn't thought to use a texture paint as pie crust texture, but that's actually a super, super good idea. Now I'm even more excited to paint these up and try that out. That's gonna look really good. I hope. It could look terrible, but that's why we experiment. I probably won't experiment with that on Ghost Keel right away. Maybe we'll try that out on our little commander here. Commander Bojangles is what Tyler had named him. And I'll tell you one thing, I don't think I can change that name, because it's pretty good. If he wants to be Shaso Bojangles, then who am I? Who am I to change his name without a second thought? He just, he came to me with some lore intact, that's all. Real question is how I'm gonna fucking paint the Kroot, because I have no idea. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the Kroot. But I have them, so I should use them. Quite a few of them. I need to get everybody on some bases, so I can figure out all the shit that I need to do. See how big this Tau army is? It's pretty large. Oh, I'm yawning. Y'all heard that. That was the sound of sleepy fiber. Ooh, key lime pie Tau and coconut cake Kroot. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm really excited also to do, like, I think I have one here. But, like, I want to do a drone and have it just, be, like, segmented so that it looks like a lime on top of it. Like, I can probably do a little map out of what I'm talking about. Just kind of breaking it up into the various lime segments. Is this amount of freehand on drones a little ridiculous? Sure it is, but I painted checkerboards and stripes all over my orcs. It's not like my Tau could fully escape the clutches of freehand. That would be ridiculous. We knew it had to come in somewhere. So yeah, I'll probably do something just because, I mean, this will probably be the interior of the lime, frankly. This color. But you saw that all broken into the various segments, so that's what we'll look at doing, I think. And we can do crust around the outside, and I mean the the drones just lend themselves extremely well to this. And I might even break off their little rabbit ears and put like a dollop of whipped cream on top there, but I have not decided yet. So don't hold me to that. But yeah, that's, you know, it's coming together as a concept. I'm really sad because I will have to paint over all that nice little red work on these, and I'm nervous to do it, but I am going to. Just not today. I think that might be the part that I document as a video, talking about how to like honor the legacy of the inherited army while also making it your own. Because initially I just planned to continue doing this in kind of a Mountain Dew scheme. I was gonna do blue voltage on the big guys and find other varieties of Mountain Dew to paint everybody else up like. But I just don't drink Mountain Dew. One day I will paint the box art and I'll feel good about it. I'll follow the prompt as is set for me. I swear it'll happen. Stay tuned. Ooh, that would be really cool, Keegan. I like that idea. I think it's really fun when people make up their own Space Marine chapters. I love seeing that. And like, I'll be making up Sept lore for my Tau eventually. Haven't quite decided what I want their whole thing to be. Because you kind of already have like the Farsight enclaves who broke away from traditional Tau society to do their own thing. So that's like already a thing. You know, I don't want to write that story again. That's already been told. So I gotta find a niche for myself within the Tau. There's already like Tau who make friends with aliens, which would be my my logical next step. So maybe, just maybe, I'll do some Tau who have been corrupted by chaos. Like maybe these are not good guy Tau. But maybe they think they're doing good things. Maybe these are some, you know, and that would explain why they're friends with my Corn army, which doesn't even exist yet, but will someday. It will someday. Official lore says Taus are immune to chaos corruption because they don't have real souls. Kinda messed up? What the fuck? You're telling me my Tau don't have souls? Okay. I didn't know that. I guess I've missed that part in the Tau Codex, where it said they were soulless. Or that they could resist corruption by chaos. So maybe I'll have to take another glance at that. Because I don't quite remember that. To be fair, I've read that codex like once and not even all the way through. So, I definitely could have missed some stuff. I'll have to check out that white dwarf that I picked up, like I was showing earlier, because I'm sure it's got some Tau lore in it. I hope it's got some Tau lore in it. It's got a big old picture of Tau on the front. It better have Tau lore in it. Let's see. Let's see what it says. This is the Games Workshop monthly hobby magazine, White Dwarf. Number 314. Wow, this is dense. Let's see. The Greater Good, Tau Design Notes, Warhammer 40,000, page 92. Page 92, too. Oh, you think my video froze? Shit, sorry about that. Let me see if I can fix that. It does look frozen. I was pulling up the White Dwarf and being like, check this out. And you're like, oh, I can't fucking see anything, Fives. How about now? Got that? Is it back? Looking for page 92. Oh. Let's see. New and improved Tau. I really like that color scheme. This one here? What's that? I replaced my old commander above with this cool new Forge World commander. I like this commander better, sir. I mean, his shield is cool. But I think this is my chonky boy. I think that's my boy. Guys. That's at least very close to my boy. My boy minus some Kit Bash modifications, but that's definitely his legs and his torso. And he's saying he wanted this guy instead, which is cool. I like that guy with his shield. But, I mean, I have a special affection for this since I own it. Let's just say Commander Bojangles may have been the Tau that made me go, yes, I'm gonna purchase these Tau. Alright, let's get that back up there. I don't know what that is. Doug Hildebrand uses this model as a bestial dreadnought in his Beast Templar army. I don't know what that model is, but it's cool as hell. Anyway. Let's see. Updating Your Army by Jeff Hull. The new codex is here. The new codex is here. Wow, this is literally... Okay. We're doing a dramatic reading now, because I've got to read this at some point, and why not? It reads, as I jumped up and down around the office, mimicking one of my favorite moments from The Jerk, I am unfamiliar. That is Five saying, I have no idea what that is. I drew many strange looks from the other people in the office. They just didn't understand the excitement I felt on finally getting a sample copy of the new Tau Codex. Flopped in my chair to devour the new information. Began thinking about my army and what the new rules would mean. Hey, this is great because we both kind of got a new army, so I can relate to this guy. Luckily, no nearby cans started exploding. See the movie if you don't get that. I hate that this reads like me referencing a film, but I have not seen that, so I don't get that reference. I assume there's an exploding trash can of some sort. I was able to read the book from cover to cover and formulate my plans. I have been planning on revisiting my Tau for some time. It is always one of those things that gets pushed aside by all the new projects. When I heard that the new army book was coming, I made the resolution that this would be the time to give the Tau an update. As I began mapping out what I was going to do with the army, I started thinking about some of my other armies that I painted a long time ago. Why haven't I gone back to my vampire counts or Black Legion? Well, vampire counts aren't a thing anymore, boy. Sorry. I always wanted to add more to them. I think that many people fall into the trap of painting an army set to a point value, especially for a tournament or other event, and then moving on to the next project. After all, why worry about an army that is already done and playable? However, it's never too late to dig out your favorite army and make it look shiny and new. In this article, we'll look at some tips on polishing up any army. Then we'll put those tips to work as I update my Tau with the release of Codex Tau Empire. Okay, that looks to be not what we want, because that's about updating an army, which is pretty cool, but doesn't say anything about the lore. The Greater Good design notes. Oh, look at this old Shadow Sun model. That's fun. Let's see. Tau Empire has been rapidly growing over the last few centuries, and it is now beginning to infringe on the domains of other major galactic powers, such as the Imperium of Man. Tau seek to bring the wisdom of the ethereals to the worlds of mankind, but the Imperium will not listen. Typical Imperium. This new codex takes us to the fringe of the galaxy as the Tau gear up for their third period of expansion. They are mustering for war. This seems to be a lot about the design of the models, which is cool. I like this green. That's nice. And I like that it's got a ride section for the buddies. What is this vehicle? That's a piranha, apparently. Oh, it's got a section for the drones to sit in, too. I'm gonna need to get me one of these. I hate painting vehicles, but you got two buddies and their drones in there. We're gonna need a pie car. Hey, look! I know those boys. I have some of those. I know those boys. I have some of those. I don't know that any of this is lore. None of that looks like lore. Vespids. More on Vespids next month. Too bad I'm not going to be buying White Dwarf number 315 to find out more about the Vespids. Oh, that's nice. They've got a map. Got some sections about their armor. Ah, see, this is the stuff I like. This is what I bother to buy codexes for most of the time. I love seeing the fully painted armies. It's unfortunate with Tau that I really don't like the box art, like the typical white and red color scheme. I just hate so much. It's got some Kroot. I'm gonna have to learn how to love Kroot. I do like the Kroot hounds, though. Maybe I should just get some Kroot hounds. Maybe that would make me happy. Okay, let's see. This looks like a battle report, maybe. Yeah. That's fun. They were still writing up battle reports in old White Dwarfs. Of course they were. This terrain, man. Something about it looks so vintage and kind of derpy. I love it. Hey, do you think that offer is still valid? Would you like to subscribe to White Dwarf for 1 year for $60 US? You can send away this mailer and see what happens. Oh, some little assembly guides. Or guides for how to, like, assemble them in different ways. That's nice. See, I always mean to, like, remember to mark stuff this way, where it's like, oh, the squad leader has this or that. But then I just don't. I just paint whatever I think would look good. But maybe I'll rip this page out so that I remember by posting it on the wall. That's some good art. That's a good drawing of a Tau right there. I like that. This just has a lot of great pictures of Tau. Not a lot of lore, or any lore, but it did have some absolutely wonderful pictures of Tau. And this is also really fun. All of this stuff that's just how to build terrain out of garbage. They certainly don't have build terrain out of garbage tutorials in the newer White Dwarves. Which I think makes these old ones kind of fun. Kind of special. I maybe should have picked up a few more of these. It's pretty cool to see how much was in here. Because I'm always like, the new ones aren't so bad. Like, I still like them, and I still enjoy reading them. But this is the first old White Dwarf I've ever had. And I get why people are not happy with how the magazine has changed. Because this is really something. This is a lot. Anyway, I think when we're at the point in the night where I start rambling about White Dwarfs and Tau and reading verbatim, that's probably a good sign that it's time for me to stop. So I'm gonna end it here. I have very much enjoyed streaming for all of you tonight as we worked on the key lime pie sept a little bit more. I hope you all have a lovely evening, and I'll catch you in the next one.